This is the TravelGeePodcast, and today's guest hails from the Washington, D.C. area and is well known for his work in media and journalism, as well as his faith-based work in the community. I have the pleasure of introducing you to the world famous Kai Zoe The Minister, everyone. Please give him a warm round of applause. Thank you
Hey
for
man,
joining
this
us.
I appreciate it so much. I've been following your work, and I really have been inspired by a lot of the locations that you've been to, and also inspired by your food choices. I've never had a person to influence me over food in the way that you have, and it has made me, try a lot of different things that I wouldn't normally try. What I found to be very interesting about your work is that you've been to places where they have maybe a franchise in the USA, but they also serve something that's significantly different
Yes.
from what we consume here. Perhaps the ingredients are different because in certain places that you've traveled, they have a more healthier standard than what
Yes.
we have over in the United States. And you've made that really clear to us. And also, things taste a lot better, and even in some instances, look a lot better. So I really appreciate about that.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Food, like just the McDonald's alone, like food is way better in other countries. I,
Absolutely.
I just wish I could like just give it to people through the screen so they could just taste it for themselves. Like,
Yeah, man, they look so good. And like I said, I run around trying to figure out where I can locate some of these things. Can it be ordered? You know what I mean?
man, I wish I could order some of that stuff, man. Oh man. Now for the people that don't know you, like, do you want to give them like a little background story on, just who you are and how you came to be where you are right now?
Sure, absolutely. Whereas Travel G said, I am Kai Zoe the Minister. I started my career in journalism over 20 years ago. And I started off working for the Christian Broadcasting Network, doing a lot of programming for fundraising and things of that nature. I ended up working for WHRO, which is a public broadcasting station. I'm from the Virginia Beach, Virginia area, and I currently live in Washington, D.C. And then when I moved to Washington, D.C., I met with Russ Parr, who is also a very popular syndicated radio journalist, him and Olivia Fox at that time. I met with them and I was trying to figure out if they had an opening just for a newscaster. And they said, well, all of those roles have been fulfilled at this point, but we do have a role for someone who is into current events, celebrity news, and things that are happening in Celebrityville. And I was like, okay, that's not exactly my forte. I said, but give me a week and I'll come back to you guys and I'll try to, see what I can come up with, what kind of character I could come up with. And I came up with a character that ended up named Mr. Knowledge, or some people just call me Knowledge. And the segment was called Spill the Tea with Knowledge. And it started off with them giving me one day and it went into multiple days. And initially, like for the first couple of weeks, it was kind of like I was auditioning live. And then they started to pay me. So
Nice.
much like Travel G, you have to find something in life that you are willing to do for free, but you make it pay you back financially. And that way you're never complaining about the career choice that you go into. Then at some point, after many years of working with Russ Morning Show, I got the call to ministry. I'd always, on some level, did evangelism. The Bible lets us know that we should lift Jesus up. And if we do, it will draw all men unto him. So I needed to take that another step further because I kept feeling a stronger calling and I ended up going into ministry. So I'm a licensed minister as well, but I love all things food and all things travel. And that is why I'm here today.
Awesome. Awesome. So what was it like working on the Russ Parr morning show? Like you said, I know it's a nationally syndicated show, huge show. Like I grew up listening to the Russ Parr morning show in Virginia, Hampton Roads area. So what was that
Yeah.
experience like?
Well, I'm gonna tell you, it was extremely challenging and it helped me to grow significantly. another little known fact about me is I went to, I don't know if people remember the school, it's still in existence, but I went to the school for acting and modeling when I was very young, and it was called the Barbizon School. I don't know if you remember hearing about
Yeah,
Barbizon. At that particular time, when I was in high school, Barbizon was a co-ed school for men and women to hone their acting skills and modeling skills and launch you into some type of journalistic career. So I went that direction and I ended up helping a lot of other people with acting and journalism. And I think that kind of ended up connecting me to the Russ Parr Morning Show too, because I was showing how eager I was to do something that I did effortlessly. You know what I mean? Like if
nice.
it's a natural part of your personality, like when Travel G is on location and discussing food and discussing hotel choices and travel choices, it seems to be so organic for him. And that's the same way with me. The path that I ended up traveling down, it became very organic. It's just like I felt like if I can find a way to make this pay me on a regular basis, I would not be stressed out like I am often when I am in traffic for an hour and a half, trying to commute back and forth to offices and such. I'm not
Yeah,
sure if that answered your question.
it definitely answered it. Definitely. Um, what are some of the things that you like about the way media is now compared to like 20 years ago?
Um, I think because a lot of things now can be done from home. When I first started working for the Russ Parr Morning Show in particular, you could only do things by either being in the studio or either you could be over the phone and they could record it over the phone and still edit it and drop it like within an hour.
Yeah.
So I did like that ability, but now everyone's using Zoom. I can't remember if that was readily available at that time, but I think maybe that was in development, but we hadn't gotten to that point yet. But I enjoyed doing it over the phone and I enjoyed doing it in the studio. I realized, that I didn't have to go to the studio if I was in a very quiet place, like the kind of microphone and stuff that you currently have. It would kind of block out all of the excess noise and I could still be effective. So I'm so happy about technology. I'm not sure where technology is going because I think that it is a blessing and a curse. We have this issue now, Travel G. I'm sure you're familiar with AI and the
Yeah.
future of AI and how it may take over things to an extent that we may not even have jobs
Yep.
and
It's
that we may
definitely,
have to end up going on some type of a universal income because a lot of jobs would be replaced because of AI. It's so effective. All they need to do is hear you and I talking and they can clone our voice and they can use your face and make it do whatever it does. And in the future, we're not going to really know what's real and what's not. What do you think about that?
yeah. AI is definitely the gift and the curse. And it's like when they bring out a brand new model of a car, like I feel like this is that first year of that new model of a car where they still need to work out all those kinks. So
Yeah,
hopefully they
yeah,
get it all ironed out, so that everything is smooth sailing. But right now it's rough, the alternator, the transmission, everything's a little rocky right now. So
yeah,
still
absolutely.
still a little
I
weary.
agree. I agree, sir. Absolutely.
All right. So what is your favorite place that you've been to and a place on your bucket list that you want to go to?
My bucket list travel would be to Africa. I would like to go maybe to Ethiopia or either to Zimbabwe.
Nice.
I have really close friends from both of those cultures, and I've eaten so much of their food that it makes me feel like I'm already one with them in some type of way. So I would like to go there, of course, under the most safest of circumstances.
Yeah.
People are going overseas and traveling in some instances and not always coming back. So they need someone like you that have been to many places and can give us good, references and referrals, what type of hotels you can stay in, the ones that, maybe are inexpensive, but still clean and still will do what you need to have done, or people who have, unlimited budgets, they can come to you and, know that they can go to other places and spend whatever they can afford to spend and still have a good time, but it doesn't restrict people. So that's what I like about your show the most.
Definitely. So what's your favorite place that you've been to already?
I'm sorry, you did mention that also. I would say Maui. I went to Honolulu first and then took a small plane over to Maui. And it was one of the most beautiful and one of the most picturesque places that I've ever been to in my life. Um, the problem I had at that time was the flight. I think it was like 11 hours from the US to get
Yeah.
there. And as you get older, you have a need to stand up and to move around because you can literally get a blood clot from sitting in a position too long. And of course, I've always had kind of like back challenges. So that was a little bit rough for me. And I remember praying, I said, God, this is a beautiful place, but if I ever get back home, I probably won't come back again. Not because I didn't have a good time, but because of how long it took. And then also when I got there, the next challenge was the time difference. I think it was like a 6 hour time difference.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, by 6 p.m. in the afternoon, I was ready to go to bed. And everybody was wanting to go out and hang out and do things because 6 p.m., it was 12 at home, but it was just 6 p.m. there. So that
Yeah.
was a huge challenge for me, although it was really beautiful there. Sunrises, sunsets were like I had never seen before. We rented a condo that was right at the beach. So I wouldn't say the beach was private because I'm not sure, but I remember when I went out on the beach in the morning, I tried to go out before it got too hot. I went for my birthday, which is July 1st, and it was peak season. So it was extremely hot off the early.
Yeah.
So I went down to the beach and it was so beautiful. I took so many beautiful pictures, but I kind of enjoyed the fact that it wasn't that many people on the beach. There was a lot of seashells and stuff that had washed up on the shore. The water looked different, although I didn't get in. I did not want to be one of those cases of the first 48 hours or anything.
Hawaii is still my favorite place out of everywhere too. Like I've been there
Where did you go
twice.
in particular?
Honolulu both times.
Okay. And
Um,
it's more of what I found out about Honolulu was that it was like a family island and it was more of the fun island. When I went to Maui because I was inspired by listening to all of the celebrities talk about where they vacation.
yeah.
So I was like, okay, I'm a celebrity in my own right of some sorts. And so I felt like if I could save up the money, I would go. And I don't regret it. Like I said, it was very expensive there. They have nice golf courses there. They had
Yeah.
good food and they had good shopping locations there. But if you have children, Honolulu would probably be the better choice
Yeah.
because it's more activities and it's a lot more fun in Honolulu.
Yeah. I split up my when I go out there, I usually split it up. I'll do like half the trip down in, the Waikiki area and then
Yeah.
the other half of the trip on the North Shore where it's more, quiet and, just more laid back, not as many people and stuff.
But see, as someone who is a travel guru, you know the differences, and that's why your show is so important to me. Because when I went there, no one told me there was a quiet area or a
Yeah.
more fun area. I mean, unless you talk to natives and people who work in those facilities and ask them, but by that time it's too late. That's something that you need to pre-plan. That's why people
Yep.
call you. You have to
Yep.
pre-plan it so it'll go right and you'll know what you're doing and then have the best experience, I would say.
That's right. I appreciate it, man. Um, how can people keep up with everything that you have going on? How can people, reach out? Do you have YouTube, Instagram, any of those?
Yeah, I'm on Instagram under Kai. Zoe TV, KAI underscore ZOE underscore TV. Also on Facebook under Kai Billups, B as in boy, ILLUPS. And I'm also on TikTok under Kai Zoe TV. So yeah, anyone that reaches out to me, I would definitely communicate with them and share whatever information I've gotten from you with them.
All right, and we are going to drop those links in the description box on this podcast as well. So just in case you guys didn't catch it right then, they will be in the description box. You can click those links and connect with Kai. All right, I know you're very busy, and I really appreciate you doing this interview, especially on short notice. I know we put this together on very short notice. Really
Yeah.
appreciate it. And I know
Well,
I
I
had,
thank you for having me. I appreciate your interest in my opinion about travel and food. And like I said, you are a huge inspiration to me, and I would not have missed this moment for anything.
thank you. I really appreciate it. You know, I had that hiccup, these kids and these germs, but I'm glad we got to make this happen.
Well, nobody can tell. Yeah, you're able to push through. So I'm glad you're feeling a little bit better at least.
Thank you. Thank you. But everybody, once again, this is the great Kai Zoe the Minister from the Washington, D.C. area. This is the Travel G podcast, and we will be back with you guys soon. All right. This is Travel G.